for Teen Challenge.
Uh-huh.
And so I was familiar with Teen Challenge and how successful they are. And I think that this program is similar to that. I mean, haven't matched the programs exactly, but it's the same thing about a year-long program, a Christ-centered program, and they have been extremely successful. So that's one of the things that got me interested at first.
Yeah.
So.
And that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. And how long of an impact just one person makes on the longevity, like the generational impact of the program is huge.
Well, whenever we have the graduations, when the woman has finished the 1 year program, and you come in here and we have a little party, and when you see the family members come in, so you really actually get to see the people who've been impacted by the fact that a person has changed their life, turned it around.
Will you tell us what the graduation is? Will you tell our viewers what that is?
It's not. It's a party. Okay, so we have refreshments, and it's nothing. It's not anything formal. Sandra usually makes some comments about the individual, what they've accomplished, and some of their personal characteristics and how they've contributed at Nicole's house. And then usually the person who's graduating will make comments and usually thanking people. And then the family members are there, and although the family members don't normally speak, it is an opportunity, I think, just for all the volunteers, because this room is usually filled with volunteers and donors, and then they get to see the family members. And I think that's probably one of the biggest impacts that I see.
I love that part of Nicole's house, being able to follow along with the women in their journey. You feel more engaged, I think, than you would if you were just, writing a check and sending it in.
Right.
One of the great things about even the online is that we try to keep the photos and everything posted of what the girls are doing on a regular basis, what their lives look like, what sober living looks like, what all of that stuff looks like for them. So that's really cool that, that you guys do the birthday party and all that. I know it's made an impact for me, like watching all of that and everything. So, of course, Miss Sandy's always taking pictures of everything. So our women do have to be camera ready.
I want to mention one other thing that I think is amazing about Nicole's house is, so in the past, I can't remember, 2 years perhaps, Sandy has partnered with these apartments. And so women that leave here get to stay in these apartments for 1 year. And I just think that's amazing, because when you come out of an environment in which things have kind of been contained and safe and everything, making the transition back into living by yourself, living out there, I'm sure it can be a little stressful.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that this additional assistance is given these women, and they don't all stay there, but there are some women that maybe they don't have family in town, or they don't necessarily have a place to go immediately. So that is really one of the things that I think is most amazing.
Yeah, well, that it makes them not a number.
Yes.
And that is sharing and caring. They're not just, a number or a clinical piece of the puzzle, I guess.
Right.
They're a real life breathing person that is being cared for by the community, and people are truly investing time, effort, and energy into them, and they really feel a lot more valued.
Yes. Yeah, you're not just shoved out the door.
Yeah, you're not like, okay, you're done, get out, I think one of the things I've seen too is that a lot of them have had, they've returned to other programs even and helped out with other volunteer programs within the community, which I think Jessica and Mindy and Keisha, trying to think. Mindy, Keisha, Jessica. I think they've all participated now in other nonprofits as well. So they're all kind of helping in a give back way,
Right.
which is cool. So that, and they've all restored relationships, and just watching all of that is
restoring
cool.
those family relationships is something that's impressed me, because oftentimes, because of their past life, they've broken those relationships. And so friends, family, they don't trust those people anymore. And so this program reestablishes that trust. And then particularly, so many women have kids, and so they're able to be reunited with those kids. And those kids need their mom.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
That's a huge point of this program.
Yeah.
That's the generational impact.
Yes.
You don't just have one, you have at least two.
Yeah.
At least two. So when we say 64 served, that could easily translate into 2, 5. I always go back to Zoe's family of 100. Like, do you remember Zoe's family? She's the one that had the long brown hair.
Yeah.
There was her family photo was 100 people.
Wow.
100
I didn't
people.
remember it was that many.
Yeah. Well, during her birthday party, I think she had 30 here. I think it was the most packed I had ever seen this house.
Wow.
And then to see that 100 standing in a photo, I was like, done. I'm going to assist for as long as the doors are open, I'm here to help in some capacity or another, because I had never had, up to that point, I didn't realize the generational impact that what you guys do and this program has on these women.
And the other thing is just the impact on the community, because
that's not one you often think about.
It's not, because oftentimes women who are in this situation, you don't see them,
right?
But then there are impacts. I mean, a lot of them have court cases that they have to deal with, and Sandy has been particularly good about guiding them through that process. And the courts have uniformly said, well, because of what we see you're accomplishing here at Nicole's house, we will modify the sentences, or in some cases they've actually just dismissed the sentences.
And that saves the community money.
Absolutely.
People don't think about that. That saves my pocketbook if that happens. But it also helps them.
Right. And so we're very fortunate that Sandy has developed those relationships with the courts. They trust her. Those judges think, okay, if I put this person here, I know that this problem, if you will be solved.
Right.
As opposed to just putting them back on the streets or putting them in jail and thinking, okay, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So that's one of the things that I've really been impressed with.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to point out about the program, because it's often not one you think about as an advantage to donating. You know, you are saving that money that you might have paid towards other programs within the community, and just having them off the streets and sober and becoming an active part of their community is huge.
It really
It's
is.
very big.
And I think the other thing that has impressed me is just how widespread the support is in the community. I mean, how many people donate, whether they're donating time, they're donating driving people someplace, and even particularly the corporate sponsors, and individuals who have donated money, donated toiletries and food, and we've had
Cars.
Cars. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
Since
Cars and bikes and
since we've been able to give not every graduate, but a number of graduates have gotten cars. Now they're not new cars,
right.
but they run and they get them where they need to go with their job, and that's probably the other thing that I like about the program is that, of course, having a job is part of the program,
right?
And so oftentimes, or usually, they're in a job with an employer that we know who understands our program, will support the program, will work with the girls. They don't work, at the beginning at least, they don't work full time.
Yeah.
And so they're giving back to the community by becoming employees. We've got one woman who is now a supervisor in a local fast food restaurant, and she got that start because she got a job here.
Yeah.
And so it's just rewarding to realize that you've got a long-term impact.
Yeah. Yes, it's definitely rewarding.